All right, good evening. This is the Town of Monroe Board of Finance special meeting. Today is Thursday, May 7th. It is 6 p.m. Please note that this meeting will be recorded and made available on the town's website in accordance with Connecticut state law. I'm going to start with roll call. Catherine Stauffer.
Present.
Steve Kirsch.
Present.
Dee Stelnick.
Present.
Nick Sentimentes.
Present.
Samantha Spino.
Present.
Terry Rooney.
Present.
Ron Bonatsky.
Present.
Heidi Mead.
Present.
Is there anyone else that?
Deb is here. And Frank. And Frank. Sorry, Frank.
Okay, so Deb Hyman, Frank.
And
All right.
Rebecca, Justin Feldman is, the assessor is also, present electronically, and I just need to, Justin, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, great. Okay, so moving on to communications, we have a letter from the town attorney regarding the proposed amendment to the elderly and permanently disabled tax relief ordinance. Do we have to read that into the record?
I don't believe so. I think we could make it
Good.
we could include it in the minutes, and it's part of the
Okay.
board.
Okay, great. And then the second item is a proposed amendment to the elderly and permanently disabled tax relief ordinance, chapter 470, article 1 of the town code. All right, so we can move directly on to new business.
Yes.
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Okay, it's a little hard to hear, so I don't know where the speaker is in the room.
Oh, it's out the window. No. How's that? Is that better?
Might be, yeah.
Madam
I don't know.
Chair, I have a motion to make. Steve Kirsch, resolved pursuant to sections 12-129 N D2 of the Connecticut General Statute, the Board of Finance does hereby approve the proposed amendment to the Town of Monroe Code, section 470-5E2 of the elderly and permanently disabled tax relief ordinance, and does furthermore recommend to the town council the adoption of the proposed amendment.
Catherine Stauffer, second.
Any discussion?
Sure, thank you. Madam Chair, I'd just like to have a brief conversation. As you know, we did the senior tax relief last year. We raised the ceiling with a lot of talks with Justin Feldman and Susan Benet and other citizens and Commission on Aging. We realized that there's more that we could do. We originally had proposed a $250 increase to the different tiers. However, after our research and after sitting down, Justin and I felt comfortable with a $300 benefit to our senior taxpayers, which will equate to in the area of between $70,000 and $140,000 impact, which is covered in the budget. It seems to me after my conversations with Justin that will probably be on the lower end of the range. Justin could speak to that. But what's interesting is some details that Justin had given me today in regards to the historicals. So if we go all the way back to 2008 when it was disbanded, I think it was 2007, there was a senior tax relief was disbanded. At that time, the total expenditure for senior tax relief was $362,555 with 561 recipients. Where we are now currently well, this is 2024, but it was 300 recipients in the amount of $258,398. So if this was I hope this board moves this forward and that council approves it. But if that's the case, we still will be significantly below where we were in the 2008 numbers. So it's hard to, I've had some questions in regards to how this is going to impact, but obviously it's reactive to enrollment and a lot of other factors. So That being said, that's all I have, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Okay. Are there any questions from the board?
No, I mean, I'll just make the comment that I wondered how the dollar value was arrived at, and now I understand that. And I looked at the percentages, and it makes sense in terms of just the increases. I hope that, more people take advantage of it. I'm surprised to see that the number of participants have declined over the years, so I would encourage the citizens to take advantage of it, and I fully support moving it to the council.
Okay, any other comments?
Yeah, is there a way for the senior center to advertise or promote this benefit to the seniors there, or?
I have already spoken to the seniors. I've been to the senior center a couple of times. Like I said, with Susan Benet, the Commission on Aging, I've been there, so they're very aware of this.
Okay.
Also, Kim Cassie is very aware of this, has been spreading the word. Also, there's been multiple articles about it, so it's pretty much common knowledge. But after council passes it, obviously, we'll go there and speak with them, help them to know how to sign up and so on and so forth.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, I do just have a question for Justin. If, and I don't know if we've ever, compared these amounts to what other towns are doing of our size, but are they in line with or competitive to what other seniors are able to,
Yes.
other town programs?
Absolutely. Last year, when we were looking at increasing the income thresholds, we took a look at surrounding towns and used that as the basis for some of our proposals.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right. Anybody else have any comments for discussion? All right. So we will take a vote. Catherine Stoffer,
Aye.
Steve Kirsch,
Aye.
Dee Stelmack,
Aye.
Nick Sentimentes,
Aye.
and Sam Spino.
Aye.
Okay. Okay, so this motion passes unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the next up for, yeah,
Right, sorry, jump the gun.
sorry?
Madam Chair, I have a resolution for new business item 3B. Resolved in accordance with the Monroe Town budget that was approved via referendum on May 5, 2026, and pursuant to Chapter 8, Section 6 of the Town Charter, the Board of Finance has hereby set the tax rate in mills at 29.88 for FY 26-27.
Catherine Stoffer, second.
Discussion?
The funds that we got from the state of Connecticut, has there been any additional guidance on how that can be used, if that can be used to decrease the mill rate?
So the guidance that's out there right now is saying if your budget has been approved, you cannot amend it. Okay, now having said that, our budget has contingency built into it, which these funds can be used in place of before contingency is needed. So it's still early in the game. The guidance, there isn't a lot of guidance out there. I know, and we may not get a lot more. I know CCM was asking for clarification, I believe, from the state Senate, and they weren't gonna, and the governor wasn't gonna give anything clarifying, because I think the intent is, my understanding is it's to provide relief, but not necessarily relief on the mill rate.
But the relief is to the taxpayer,
The relief is to the taxpayer by
means
giving more funds to the Board of Ed is my reading.
so that they have to pay less in taxes.
Um,
So if it's relief, and that's how I interpret it, if it's to provide relief for the taxpayer, we don't know if it can be used to lower the mill rate, but
So
if we utilize that to fund.
So I sent a question to Ron today because CCM put out a notice last night and this morning because the Senate, well, both the Senate and the House acted last night just before the close, and it put in different language. So
So we have to wait
I
for the governor to
I
sign.
also wanted to discuss it tonight, but I think right now, what we ought to do is ask for the town attorney to look at it and give us our options at our Board of Finance meeting, you know, whatever it is, the week, 2 weeks.
Because we have until the 15th, right?
Yeah, we have until the
I
15th.
didn't, in what I read from CCM and reading, we changed to the statute. I didn't see anything that gave us a time period to act. It's more about if it's going directly to the board of ed and is the town able to use it to replace previously approved funds. That appears, as I'm understanding it, to be no, but I have not now read the entire thing, the entire statute as it was revised. And CCM is saying they'll still have more guidance, so I think we really just don't have the answer to that.
I agree.
So,
And it would
Yeah,
be,
I would like, oh, go ahead.
nope, that's all I have.
So it would be, my view is it would be a budget, there would be a budget adjustment at this point, and I guess the question is if we were gonna budget more revenue, which I think how that impacts the there's a lot of question marks there, because I see that it can't supplant the Board of Ed budget, but that it could lower the, you know, could be used to lower the, you know, put less stress on the taxpayers, so that's conflicting right there, because that doesn't make sense,
Right,
because you're either
Right.
doing one or the other.
but
So-
it could go directly to the Board of Ed. But if it's coming to the town, I would want to use that as revenue if possible to offset a mill rate increase.
I think everything is, it's going to the Board of Ed.
Okay.
That's, now, having said that, could we get guidance that says something different in the next week or so? Possibly.
Do we know at least, let's say we can, right, if we can use it, do we know what effect that would have on our mill rate as it stands?
So I guess thinking through it, it would be we would need to do a budget amendment, right? And the question is would we?
Well, would we just decrease the tax levy by whatever we're getting?
I don't, yeah, so it would be more of a, it wouldn't be a direct adjustment to the mill rate, it would be an adjustment to the budget. And the question is would we lower contingency or assign fund balance? And if we lowered contingency, we made that budget neutral anyway in the budget by having a correlating increase to assigned fund balance. So I don't know if in our case, we would, you know, unless we weren't gonna change assigned fund balance and we were just gonna lower contingency, then we could adjust the mill rate. But it would actually require an amendment to the budget that just got approved
That we.
at referendum.
Right.
So
didn't sound
So
like-
who needs to approve the amendment?
I'm not sure from what I've read that that's really what they intended.
I don't think it was
Right,
the intent.
so,
I think the intent was, I think the intent of the legislators was for it to go directly to
and
the
they're,
head, but
they're clearly not, as of earlier yesterday afternoon, they were not clear on what their intent was. And it was looking like they were not going to take any action. I CCM sent out a note saying they're not going to take any action. Lo and behold, this morning, they did, you know, literally at the 11th hour.
But the governor could change that before he signs it. Has he signed it yet?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I haven't heard that he has.
Okay, so
Okay.
it could still change
Yeah.
up until that point.
Yeah, so who could, a budget amendment at this point, changing the appropriation? I would want, at this stage of the game, could this board, I would probably want input from the town attorney on that. Because there's a chance we might be going back out to referendum.
Right.
Something you said, I thought about.
That's right.
Yeah.
The other question that I didn't see any discussion on was applying some of that money into this existing fiscal year versus
So
everything that was referencing FY
the
27.
the 210,000 was split up.
Wait, what was the question? Pardon. What was
Which
the
fiscal
question?
year- Which fiscal year does the 210,000 of education funding pertain to?
Mhm.
And in the legislation, it split it up between 2026, which is the current fiscal year, and 2027. 105,000 to each. I'm not sure how that works because we're a month and a half left in the current fiscal year. I have to believe that there are larger municipalities in the state that are in bad shape this fiscal year, and they probably put that in there so they could use it this fiscal year. That's the only
The
rationale.
language talks about some state officer, making the payment, and most of the change last night was talking about FY 27, which is why I didn't know what happened to the original that talked about FY 26. But it's clear that they amended certain sections with the new language.
Yeah,
That's what that final bill did, is that SB1 modified a whole slew of things and sections within there. And so until somebody reads and gets interpretations,
yeah.
like having red lines. And
And look, the timing of this wasn't great, for sure. And I have to imagine we're not the only municipality in this situation. You're probably talking, what's the mill on the mill rate right now is 29.88. If we were to tax affect the 210 and impact the mill rate, and if you weren't gonna adjust the sign fund balance, my guess is you're probably, I'm gonna say 29.85, 29.86, somewhere in that range.
I was gonna say,
So, yeah, like how much does it really move
0.01,
the needle
0.02.
Yeah.
to wait?
Yeah, it's gonna
Right.
change to 0.01 and 0.02, something like that.
And then if you're gonna reduce if you're gonna reduce the contingency, are you gonna just reduce the sign fund balance and make it? I don't know.
I think the timing is formed, but the way the language is written, they modified it to make it clear that if you have already approved your budget, that was one thing. So we are in that bucket. And so, at this point, I thought we should have this discussion, and glad Catherine brought it up. But I don't think it affects anything we can do tonight. I don't think we have enough information, even if we wanted to talk about doing something. So
Yeah, I would like input from the town attorney, and I would like to wait at least until next week to see if more information comes out.
Yeah, that would be my request, is to see if we can get information from the town attorney and whoever else at our regular scheduled meeting. And have that as an agenda item, at least for discussion.
So are you saying you're not gonna approve the set the
No.
mill rate tonight?
No, we'll set the mill rate because there's no reason not to. Because we can't, our budget is set according to, because we voted on.
No,
Like you said.
I think is that a legal opinion?
Well, I'm not a lawyer.
I know, but I think that it's wise that we get an opinion on what this legislation means, and if it is signed by our governor prior to our next meeting, it will be fine. I understand that. We could have an answer by then.
Wait, we have to do one thing.
Set the mill rate.
you have to set the mill rate.
So by next Friday, which is 10 days after referendum. So now, could the mill rate be set and then if something happens between now and next Friday, could it be amended?
I would rather,
Within that 10-day period, is that
Um,
what you're thinking?
I would much rather table. If we can do
I
that.
would table, please. Yeah, I would like to have the information leading up to that time.
Mhm. And more information will probably come out because this just happened, what, 2 days ago?
Last night.
Well, I know it passed.
Last night,
Numbers came out.
yeah.
Right?
Well, what you can do with it is
so I guess if
We have to do another referendum by how I read,
If-
because it says if your budget is approved, and it was approved.
right. So that, as I read that says,
But-
we're locked in.
We're
Because
locked in.
We're locked in.
We're locked in.
Is that a legal opinion?
That's what the
That's what
CCN
The bill
says.
is not signed, so we know that, right, it could still change. That language could still change.
I mean, there's a lot of
I don't
things
think the governor
changing.
can change it. Governor can't change statute because he's in voice veto of this thing.
The governor can do a lot of things. I mean, he give you to add more money to it. There's a lot that can happen. You know,
But he's still into the board of ed. That's for sure. Part of it may be going to Michigan. I mean,
But we don't know.
that was in the original.
I thought they had funds for the municipal side too.
well, the contingency, I guess the question is if we can add those that revenue to the budget, would it change the budget? Or would the mill rate end up in the same place because you're lowering the assigned fund balance that you're using?
Would we have to,
That's how we.
because we set the expenditures, right?
Mhm.
And we set income, how much we have coming in from each source of revenue.
We don't,
So we're still
When
spending the
Frank
same
gets-
amount of money. If we choose to use that, it would decrease the mill rate.
no, it would just mean we wouldn't take the fund down. When Frank over generates income, we don't go back and change the mill rate.
No.
We just don't use another $100,000 that we had said we were gonna take from fund balance. So to me, this is no different. We've had years where we thought the state was gonna cut back on its normal payments, and they didn't. You know, during the state's fiscal crisis, and we were all in a panic, the towns were all gonna get a whole bunch less. And we took that into account, and then we got what was normal. And it just went in that case, we weren't using fund balance, it just went into the general fund. So I don't see getting this as changing fundamentally anything in our budget.
I agree. I don't think it's a big enough number to really move the needle.
I think,
And you just said that it's only, it might change the mill rate by 0.03 or something.
We might change it by nothing because
Yeah.
so.
we just have more income, which just says I'm not going to take, right now we have whatever the number is, right? We're taking $1 million from the special ed reserve, 2.7 from the general fund. We added another 699 back in, take another 699, 669, whatever the number was, from the general fund. If we get another 100,000, we're just gonna take $100,000, in my view, we're just gonna take $100,000 less from the general fund. And
But I feel like when we've done that in the past, it's always after the mill rate is set. So we do have to set the mill rate. Our referendum was a vote of expenditures, right? So our mill rate is based on that and how much taxpayers are paying. Right?
It's not gonna change how much we're spending. I don't see any reason why.
Well, we-
So if
Frankly,
we
I
can
don't
only
see any
adopt
reason
that
to-
as revenue,
It's extra revenue. I don't
I
see
think
any, I
it's-
don't
but
see any
it's
reason
not
not.
extra, I don't see it as extra revenue. I don't see it as free money. I see it as an opportunity to take that difference from the bottom dollar, what the taxpayer is paying for. If we can.
I agree. I would like to get more information before we finalize. We have the time to do that.
No, yeah, no, I think everyone's aware of this, so, yeah. But the thing is I think this is as of yesterday. Right, yeah, so
Thank you.
I think, good night, Heidi. I think, yeah, I mean, could we get clarifying information? I think everything, I'm just gonna lay this on the table. In order to adjust, so if we were gonna try to amend the budget for this, that just got passed at referendum on Tuesday, I think we would need clarifying, something from the town attorney clarifying that.
I think that's really.
That could get really messy. The other thing is everything I've read regarding that is it is revenue, the intent is it's revenue to go straight to the Board of Ed. Now, you're gonna reduce
But does
your
it say
budget.
that? Is that
Yes,
what
it
it,
does.
is
Yeah.
that
Oh,
what
it
the
absolutely
word,
does.
I know that's the intent, is that what it says?
Yes.
Literally. said that.
Okay,
Black
and that's
and
why
white.
the governor didn't want to go back and change, okay?
Mhm.
And I think you gotta understand where it's coming from. There are municipalities who are,
Really struggling.
yeah.
Yeah.
So could we go back and amend the budget and reduce the Board of Ed appropriation by that amount? I think you'd have a hard time getting the money out of Hartford at that point.
Mhm.
That's my honest opinion.
And also getting people to come out and vote again.
Yeah, I think, now, does it make sense to maybe wait a week to get this all clarified? Because it is as clear as mud right now? I can't,
Mhm.
I feel like so much more information is going to come out in the next week.
More information comes out.
My ability to sleep at night, I don't know. I don't know, Frank. What if,
Because if you're gonna change the mill rate, right, you're changing what was just approved.
but you're
I
not.
just think that,
You're not changing what was approved at referendum, because we would still be spending the same amount of money, it would just be a wash. Just a lesser
they
hit
approved an
to.
entire budget, which includes revenue and expense.
Mhm. So it would be additional revenue.
well, right now, my reading, and I could be wrong, is it's additional revenue that has to be.
There's no question, the link that they provided, that what's the name provided? It took you to the state statute that was passed last night. Clearly said, for boards of education, it addresses towns and regional boards of education. So there's no question that's what it's going.
It also speaks to how the funds are to be obtained by the towns and the boards of education. This is Public Act 26-1, right?
No, that's
SB1?
SB1 last night is the modification. That's, SB1 modified certain sections, so it modified section 391 and.
Of Senate Bill 268. So then we need answers on what all those modifications are, because that's where things get sticky. And we're not going back up, we can't go back up to referendum.
No, because it could go down.
Yeah.
No, and the statute said if you're already done, you're done.
You're done.
So
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I sent you the email. In that email, it has the link to the SB1 changes from last month. I wonder if you can. link to
I
it and pull it
can't,
up and read it.
I could maybe go grab my,
But,
my,
I mean, I didn't think that, I'm sorry, I didn't think to print it out. Because I didn't think it had any effect on what we were doing, because the line, I mean, CCM, well, I mean.
Yeah, it says that as a result, property taxpayers in those communities that have already have their budgets, like municipal budgets that have already adopted cannot be modified. And any additional aid will go directly to the Board of Ed on top of the already approved budgets. As a result, property owners in those communities will see no relief.
Seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
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 If you look at it spread between 2 years, you kind of do what you do at the end of the year with Joe anyway. What do you have to pick off? Right, and then exactly. The other is. Or you don't use it and you use it for relief in the following fiscal year.
Well, that was gonna be a question that I would bring to the, well, Ron's gone, but I mean, the other night at the Board of Ed meeting, they were talking about even with the second payment for special ed is still running the deficit. So, you know, my thought was, okay, they get some of this money in this year, that covers their deficit in special ed, and well, you know, again, it's a
What's their deficit in special ed?
something like.
Oh, okay, so you're thinking you'll have as close to the deficit?
Yeah.
Seeing that they split it between 26 and 27, because a lot of the cities are in that.
Yeah, I mean, this city's getting $5 million and stuff, I mean,
25, yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
45 million.
Yeah. That's what they're doing, I think.
Yeah, I heard Hartford has issues.
Oh, I am amazed.
Yeah,
at
we-
the
yeah,
town
the bond,
the
too.
issues. Really just flabbergasted. Yeah, like I said, I don't think there's any option, given the language I read and given the dead best read. And again, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm following what CCM is advising. You guys,
I'm sorry, it's very difficult to hear what's
I'm
being
sorry, no,
said by the group in the room. So,
I apologize, I should.
Catherine, if you can just summarize what the opinion of the room is for me, please.
So I think the opinion is mixed, not mixed, definitely mixed. So can I make a motion that we table this until next week before May 15th? And
Okay, do I have a second for that?
Get our town attorney to review and provide an opinion and solidify the fact that these funds cannot be used to decrease the mill rate.
So we have
And
to,
can, you know, because they're,
well, she just.
I thought that was pretty clear.
Okay, so there's a motion on the table. Do I have a second?
Have another budget vote.
Stop talking over me, please. There's a motion on the table. Is there a second? I will second. Any discussion? Okay.
when is this being signed?
I'm sorry, what?
Do we know when this is being signed?
I do not.
No.
This all just happened last night. It's new information.
They may not sign it before the 15th. Then we're in trouble.
They may not, but I don't feel the need to get rushed into this when this information just came out last night. I think we need to I would like the liberty to talk to Frank Lito, and make sure that we're all interpreting the information in the right way. So I think our Monroe residents require that of this board, and I would like to do that.
Thank you.
Is there any objection, I guess? I mean, can we just,
They're looking it over real quick, so.
Ron just brought them a document to review.
And what is that document?
This is the stuff that they approved.
The bill that was approved last night.
Okay,
The
so,
fiscal year ending June 30th, 2027, each town shall be paid a supplemental education aid grant equal to the amount prescribed in section 390 of this act, substitute Senate Bill 1 of the current session as amended by Senate Amendment Schedule A. The amount due each town shall be paid by the controller on certification of the Commissioner of Education to the treasurer of each town not later than June 30th of said fiscal year. All subject to the provisions of section 503 of this act. Aid distributed to a town pursuant to the provisions of this subdivision shall be expended for educational purposes only and shall be expended upon the authorization of the local or regional Board of Education. Such grant shall not be used to supplant local funding for education. Such grant shall not be considered part of the budgeted appropriation for education for the town for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2027, for the purposes of calculating the minimum budget requirement for the town pursuant to section 10-262J of the general statutes for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2028.
and this is from a bill called an act concerning various criminal law proposals.
Yeah, that's the one.
Right.
Subject to provisions of section 503 of this act, all aid distributed to a town pursuant to the provisions of this section shall be expended for educational purposes only and shall be expended upon the authorization of a local or regional Board of Education. Such grant shall not be used to supplant local funding for educational purposes. Such grant shall not be considered part of the budgeted appropriation for education for the town for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2027, for purposes of calculating the minimum budget requirement.
Steve, what page are you on? You don't mind?
Page 7 of 10.
Page 7.
So, speaking professionally, what concerns me about this is the title of this bill is an act concerning various criminal law proposals, which has
So
absolutely nothing to do with education
they-
funding.
they stick stuff.
Right. So of all of the other bills that were passed last night, how many other changes outweigh this change? And what do they say?
There was nothing else. This bill caught a whole bunch of
They
stuff.
just tacked this on to that bill.
I understand. But are there other bills out there that were approved last night? I mean, Deb, you know,
I
Beth,
know,
last
I know.
year, they canceled out a change to the interest statute in a completely different bill. So everybody thought that the interest rate was going from 18 to 12% on taxes until the 11th hour, when we find out it's been canceled out in another completely unrelated bill. That is what is concerning to me. So until eyes have been on every single bill as much as possible before the 15th, I would like to just make sure that there has not been a change outside of what is in here.
So my recommendation is this board should put something in writing to Terry to get an opinion from the town attorney, which only he can do.
Mhm.
And to maybe get one of our state legislators here to talk through this, maybe a higher level. Does that make sense, to everybody?
Absolutely. I want us to all agree on this. I want to do this tonight, but I just, I know from experience that this might not be the only change to that passage.
My only answer to that is, TCM has been following this and been sending out daily or twice daily updates. There's not a snowball.
But you say that, and then I
Okay,
can
alright.
tell you that last year, the Office of Legislative Research put out something about permanent and totally disabled veterans, saying that it had to be only 100%, but it wasn't.
Well, considering tonight's not the 14th, I think, you know, if you're gonna do it once, do it right. That's
Mhm.
mine. It's the way I deal with my life in general.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, I don't think there's any reason to delay, but I don't think the way.
It will not hurt. Deb, will this impact you or Justin in any negative way?
I don't think so, because the only thing he has to do is work on the eligibility, and I believe that is for the 15th. That's for the 15th.
The deadline for application is May 15th.
Yeah, so that they can't start the, that,
And then QDS needs what, 2 weeks turnaround to get bills out?
right, but if you have to go back to a referendum, and start looking at that.
Yeah, I mean.
We will not have to go back out to referendum. All we want to, this is all we want to know.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I mean, it goes on, and it's unfortunate it happened last night, it's unfortunate that everybody hasn't had a chance to even read the plain text, so.
Because this is what happens and it's very frustrating.
At least we have till the 15th.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the good news, so.
I mean, there could be another
You
change
want
that says, if you did vote on your budget, state is overruling, and I mean, it could say something crazy.
Well, it literally does tell you exactly what, and that's where I didn't get down to, or that's where. You know, there's line 190 starts talking about if you've adopted your budget and so forth and so on. It spells it all out very clearly as to where we fall. The town has adopted its budget. Yet saying no, that's our task. The town has adopted its budget.
But do you know if there are any other bills that pass that amend this amendment to the
This
substitute
is the
Senate
last thing
bill?
they did. So no, do I know for 100% certain? Because no, but this is my understanding. This is what CCM sent out,
I would have a better comfort level if I knew that the governor had signed this.
but we don't know when to go. I mean, we can delay. I guess there's no harm in a delay. Again, personally, I don't think delaying changes anything, but I would suggest if everybody can do, the 14th, and then my only question would be, well, what if we still don't have answers then? I mean,
Then the answer is simple, we vote on a mill rate then. We don't have a choice for our time.
the motion is to do what?
To table this until next week.
It needs to be tabled to a specific time.
I think I said next Tuesday or through the 15th.
So see if any more information comes out from Hartford and we get some guidance from the town attorney.
Today, Thursday, so we want to do it next Thursday, the 14th? That's the regular schedule, no, the 21st is, that's the problem.
I'll be out of town, but I can down.
I know the town attorney is, well, I don't want to speak for the town attorney, but the town attorney has a lot on his plate, so I think, that we would want to get this request into the first selectman, probably in the morning. Terry did leave. Terry,
Personally, I guess I would wonder what the town attorney can really provide you other than what's already in the bill. I mean, because he can't he can't change anything or adjust anything.
I agree.
I don't know what he's gonna give you that you all will see in the plain text.
Maybe
Of the
just
bill.
maybe just an interpretation of it. That might vary.
give it-
I don't know.
He would, well, I had wanted to get an opinion of the town attorney as to how, what we can do with it, and whatever. I never thought that it would be affecting the setting of the mill rate. It's just on the black letter reading of the statute. It says everything is set. And there's whatever, however many lines. It makes it very clear that we're done from a budgetary standpoint. So if the budget's not gonna change, because that's what they said. Now, to Catherine's point, well, did they do something else someplace else? I think, not that I know of, but if we delay a week, it would give the town attorney or us or whoever another
Yeah.
week to say,
Also the news
did any
media,
attorney.
right? It would, something would come out in the news as legislative reporters and research offices start to read all of the new bills that have been passed and signed. They could say, oh, ding, 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 there's a change to section 505.
Yeah, there was a link.
Section
There was a link
394.
yesterday in one of the, you
Mhm.
know, to the legislative reporter,
Mhm.
and that was the whole reason that the language change was made last night, because several people, legislators in third parties, figured out that the way the language was written, was somebody said inartfully. And then the debate was, are they gonna try to clean it up? And they didn't. So,
I would have liked the town attorney to opine whether, you know, as you said, you know, it's been resolved, we need to set the mill rate, or if it makes sense to table it. Right? It's, what's his thought on it?
Or, I mean, even if the town attorney is too busy and he can't provide
I
us
think
that level of research.
I think he could. I think it would have to get to him. You know, he needs to know probably in the morning that
Right.
he needs to. Yeah.
Right, but at least to know that there's not more unraveling and coming out in the news, or, you know, more could happen. This just took place last night. Everything else that took place last night could be changing this as well. I mean, we could say that's not the case, but look at the title of the bill that this made itself into.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Latched onto, right?
Right.
that's,
I mean, there could be another change called the bill affecting farm animals that says it goes straight to the town.
I wouldn't bet on that.
I wouldn't either, but crazier things have happened.
Yeah.
we still haven't, this is one you expect. So we want
So I think you need to call a vote on that, Madam Chair.
so we
Okay, Catherine Stoffer,
this table, wait, I'd like to make sure we understand exactly what we're tabling it until,
Has the first motion been taken off the table? Ron?
No.
what?
So you made a motion
I
to
made-
approve the mill.
And the motion to table would be affecting this, so we're tabling the motion to set the mill rate until May 14th at 6 p.m. That's the one we need to do.
And request a review of finalized legislation regarding,
In the question, town attorney's opinion,
Will he be able to give an opinion on something that's not yet
No.
a law? Because it hasn't been signed by the governor.
no,
So
The question is will it be something, and you're bringing up good points,
Yeah.
Frank.
I
I don't know.
is Frank gonna spend time on something that's not yet approved?
Or can you, do we need to include that in the motion, or can you just have a conversation with him on this?
Yeah, I mean, technically.
I mean, the seat, okay.
Okay, so the motion is to table this until May 14th at 6 PM. Yes. Second, okay,
So are we ready for a roll call?
yeah,
All right, Catherine Stoffer,
aye.
Steve Kirsch,
Aye.
Steve Salmek,
Aye.
Nick Sentimentes,
Aye.
Samantha Spino,
I think Sam,
Oh,
looks,
who's gone?
it looks like she's gone.
okay. Okay, so that, well, I can't say, I guess unanimous to who was in the room, I guess, so. All right, so we will reconvene next week on Thursday. Ron, I will get communication over to Terry.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
All right, thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Night.
Thank you.